This is War Chamber! And now the rules of War Chamber are simple. The two teams held a coin toss backstage to determine which team will enter first. At the very beginning, it'll be one-on-one for the first 5-minute stage of War Chamber. After that, the team that won the coin toss will then have a 2-to-1 advantage. At that point, a new competitor comes into the War Chamber every 2 minutes until every competitor is in the War Chamber. Once that happens, the only way to win War Chamber is by submission, surrender, or pinfall. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our first competitor.
Well, the ominous music of the calling hits, engulfing the Melrose Ballroom with their disdain, their misery, and their penchant for pain. Rickey Shane Page, the human slaughterhouse himself.
The first entrant into the War Chamber, Rickey Shane Page.
You see that table of weaponry the calling has used so many times, and there'll be no way to stop the calling in the War Chamber. Obviously, no disqualifications.
As if the sights and sounds weren't disturbing enough, throw in a steel cage wrapped in barbed wire with all kinds of weaponry.
Keep in mind what Rickey Shane Page is willing to
And now the first man into the War Chamber for the Hammerheads. He is the one called Manders.
Oh, it's the boss of the Plains, the former Iowa Hawkeye fullback. And Matt, this is revisiting a one-on-one match we saw recently on MLW television when it was Rickey Shane Page crashing his own body through a table to get to Manders, who was underneath. Rickey sacrificing his body.
Here we go.
To spread the message of the calling. And we're picking up right where we left off. Opening period, stage 1 of the War Chamber, 5 minutes in length.
This is just going to be absolutely brutal. I have a feeling that this is everything the calling has wanted and more. It's all built up to this.
Matt, I want you to break down the choices each team has made for the first man to send into the chamber. How do you rate Rickey Shane Page and Manders as the lead-off position?
Rickey Shane Page, power, also a demented debauchery that is only going to have to get raised as each member of the calling come in. With regard to Hammer's side, they send Manders out there for the energy to represent what this team means, not only to Major League Wrestling, but also to its fans.
Well, Manders has said what makes a cowboy is the grit. It's that fact he's too stubborn to quit. He's got that free spirit in his veins, and Manders will need every step of that to go the distance here in War Chamber.
Is it too stubborn or is it too stupid?
Well, I think it's stubborn, it's pride, it's the fact that Manders won't back down from a fight. Release suplex by Rickey Shane Page.
Still hasn't answered my question. You know, sometimes ego and pride collide with judgment.
Oh. Those thick leather chaps of Manders being used against him. Rickey Shane Page is so dangerous. Anything that gets in his clutches can turn into a weapon.
Just as you say it.
Oh, no. Oh, that wrench into the mouth.
It wouldn't be enough just to clunk him over the head or whack him in the clavicle. No. Let's dig in his mouth.
You know why, Matt? Because if Rickey knocks him out, he can't watch Manders suffer in pain.
That's a good point.
It's all about that experience and then almost that euphoria that Raven and the calling get from it.
I've asked this question before, but I'm going to ask it again. What does it say about those that follow the calling, that follow Raven? What are they missing? What are they devoid of in their life? What did they not get as children that they're trying to fulfill now as quasi-adults?
Well, whatever they're missing, they feel that Raven fills that void. They are trusting in Raven. They believe in the message of the calling, and a huge spine buster by Manders.
Just like that, Manders and the Hammers need to take advantage of this opportunity. Remember, everything changes once the next fighter comes in.
Manders has the wrench. Will it literally be the wrench in the plans of the calling? as now Rickey Page gets his own strategy right back in time.
Hoisted by his own petard. And this is what we need to see out of Hammer's team. We need to know if they can get as dark as the call.
It's not a pleasant sight. It's uncomfortable. But it's what this rivalry has come to. Raven has said he wants everyone else to feel his misery. And he has a series of like-minded individuals that share his vision of the world.
It's just sad. Yeah, it really is.
20 years ago, Raven was alone in the wilderness, and now he's watching people destroy each other, and he's coming back to finish what he started.
King David was alone in the wilderness as well, but these two are going in completely opposite directions.
Yeah.
But to your point about sharing in the misery, in a sense, isn't that horrible that we live in a world where we want others to be angry because we're angry?
Yeah.
That's the most selfish, narcissistic thing I could think of.
But when you think of Raven's history, the trail he has blazed to get here, it's right in his wheelhouse. He has used, he has manipulated, he has led, he has coerced.
What has it gotten him, though? At the end of the day, what has he gotten? Does he have a few million in the bank?
I'm sure he does, if he wants that.
If it is of value to him, I get it. I think that the control of the mind and souls carries more weight, more currency than anything.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Raven's name has the gravitas that he's got 4 fighters willing to enter the most dangerous structure in MLW to do the bidding of the calling. Manders fires away again, a 5-minute period here in stage 1, and then at the end of the 5 minutes, the winner of the coin toss will send another athlete from the team for a 2-on-1 advantage, and teammates will alternate until we get to 2 full teams battling all at the same time, and it's submission, surrender, or pinfall to win.
Well, it may be obvious, but I think the first team member to spring a leak, right, to bleed, that's going to show you how this whole thing is going to unravel. Something to keep our eye on.
Well, and I think the first one likely won't be the last one.
Hopefully.
And again, just digging that into the jaw, now into the mouth of Rickey Page. And the brutality is only beginning. War Chamber continues after that. Back in the War Chamber, just in time for the calling to send in their second man.
The next participant for the calling, Akira.
As if it couldn't get any worse.
Yeah, the Death Fighter. Mr. Catch Death himself, a combination of catch wrestling and deathmatch style. He can hurt you any way he chooses.
He has that death penalty move that he uses. Could you imagine in this environment that maneuver?
And Akira, a man that has taken sick delight in just contorting and manipulating the human anatomy with these weapons and with his arsenal on a German suplex.
High up on the neck.
Matt, think about the victims of the calling over the months, from the Von Erichs to Gangrel, Killer Cross, Mads Kruger, EJ Nduka. These are some of the most daunting names our sport has seen, and certainly the Major League has seen in the past 2 to 3 years. But nobody could hold a candle to the brutality of the calling.
But none of those names are the brass ring. None of them are the fair-haired one. None of those names are Alexander Hammerstone.
Manders fired off with as hard a shot he could from his knees to Akira, and Akira absorbed all of it.
Toe to the eye socket. Welcome to New York.
Kawada-style kicks. Akira was almost toying with Manders with those kicks a moment ago, but certainly getting the most of those kicks that second time around when Manders fought back.
That's a heavy elbow drop by RSP there.
Yeah. The thing about Akira is I look into this man's eyes and I just see no conscience, no soul, no remorse, just a vacancy in there.
You're looking for a human element. That's your first mistake. I mean, looking in his eyes is your first mistake, honestly, but when you're trying to look for a human element in someone like that, you're going to be disappointed.
I don't know if I'm disappointed. I'm not saying I expected that, but I'm certainly intimidated. I'm certainly uneasy when any of these individuals are around. And Raven has gotten himself a seat to enjoy the violence.
The odds are about to be even.
Yeah.
Next participant for the Hammerheads, Matthew Justice.
Now here's a guy that's fearless. Here's a guy that lives off of that adrenaline rush. Buy the ticket, take the ride. He's normally a one-man militia, but now he's part of a team of 4 entering war.
Here we go, Thrash Justice. This type of thing is made for an athlete like this.
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah, Justice heavily influenced by another former MLW star by the name of Sabu. And that shows you the reckless abandon that Matt Justice has, the ability to absorb punishment, to hurt his own body, to inflict pain on others.
I think major leaguers can really get behind Matthew Justice because we want to live through him. We wish we were him. He has this energy, this charisma, and this fight that is infectious.
Yeah. And trying to fire up Manders as well. Manders going to use his own tag team partner as a weapon with a modified Hawkeye Stampede on Akira.
These guys kicking it into second gear right here. That's exactly what this team needs.
That's why they're called the second gear crew. They live everything in life to their fullest. Whether they're drinking, whether they're fighting, whether they're riding the roads, whatever they do, they always get the most of the moment. Oh, and Justice can swing a chair, no doubt about that. You look on paper and you see War Chamber and the Calling, and you automatically assume odds-on favorite by a mile. But I have seen Manders and Justice and the rest of this team spill blood in arenas across this country and beyond.
What makes guys like Matthew Justice so dangerous is that they enjoy this. He's one of those guys, he doesn't get his blood boiling until you punch him in the face a couple of times. Those are the most dangerous guys to fight.
He lives for the thrill of the moment, does Matthew Justice. And unless his life and livelihood is at risk, I don't think Matt Justice truly feels alive.
Well, you know, it's a be here now mentality. More people should subscribe to that. You know, what's the old saying? If you're living in the past, that's depression. If you're living in the future, that's anxiety. Be here now.
Well, someone else will be here now in 5 seconds, because the next period of the chamber activates with another member.
And the third entrant for the Calling, it is Delirious.
Oh man, this is the stuff nightmares are made of.
You want to talk about unpredictable insanity, but with a calculated mind behind it. Delirious may not be the sharpest mind to manipulate, but he's certainly one of the most dangerous.
There's a thin line between genius and madman, and Delirious walks on that line with bare feet.
And Delirious is someone with a style that you don't see anywhere else. And he may be the most difficult athlete in this entire match to prepare for.
Yes, he is the knuckleball, if you will. All you gotta do is hope that you make contact.
And Delirious, Manders with a reversal. And keep in mind, for the duration of this period, it is going to be 3-on-2 in favor of the Calling. And the numbers game showing its effect in the early going.
And also just the tenacity, the viciousness of the Calling. I mean, Thrash Justice brings it for his team, but as tough as Manders is, he's still a nice guy. You know, and at the end of the day, that's not going to work.
Well, I think the question here is, I want Delirious with a panic attack in the corner on Manders. How much damage can the Calling do in this 2-minute period? And how much can the SGC withstand as a panic attack hits Matthew Justice as well?
It's a great question, but it's also a sad question because you've already given me the game script. You've written the narrative. It's a question of the Hammers just trying to survive. And I don't like the way that plays out.
No, and at this point, that's really all they can do on their backs without really any kind of an opening I could see.
And what does this mean overall for the future of the league, for the future of the fighters in the locker room? The decision here tonight in this match is going to have a ripple effect throughout MLW.
It'll no doubt shape how MLW looks for the rest of 2023 and maybe for a long time to come after it. As Justice trapped in the corner, Delirious certainly subscribing to that misery and torture the Calling loves so much, ripping and tearing away, biting at Justice as Manders hits the steel.
If we look at it in retrospect, Raven is the butterfly that flapped its wings halfway around the world.
Now Rickey, Shane Page, and Akira enjoying the damage done, and a matter of seconds before some backup comes the way of Team Hammerhead.
The next entrant for the Hammerheads, he is the World Heavyweight Champion, Alex Hammerstone.
No fear towards Raven. No fear towards the War Chamber. Hammerstone has vanquished factions in this very match type in the past. Hammer's looking to do it again.
The howitzer has been unleashed. Let the perils of war wage.
German suplexes for each member of the Calling. Keep in mind, this was all started with the Calling attacked Hammer after that super fight with Jacob Fatu. They have targeted the biggest dog in the yard ever since. They have targeted Hammerstone, and this is the wrath you get when you awaken the rage inside Hammer.
Think of what war is, imposing your will on others, an entire nation. In this case, imposing your physical will on others. And Joe, you know what they say, war is hell, but sometimes you need to go through hell in order to get to heaven.
Well, we'll see if that saving grace is in the form of Alex Hammerstone, who recruited the SGC over a couple beers, maybe more than a couple of beers one night, and it's turned into this great bond these men have with a common enemy.
They're gonna need more than that.
Both Manders and Justice collide with a 306-pound Rickey Shane Page. And just like that, when the numbers are equal on both sides, the Hammerheads show what they're capable of.
Yeah, Hammerstone just tilted the ring entirely into his team's favor. How long is the bloom on the rose? How long can his luster shine?
Well, I think it was a great call to send Hammerstone out here in that third position. A lot of people may have expected Hammerstone to come in and back cleanup at the end, but you saw how down and out SGC was before that. Hammerstone could have been what was needed the most to turn that pendulum.
Yeah, it's protection in the lineup, and just like that, this game has changed. This fight is now tilted. The momentum favors Hammerstone's team, my opinion, Joe.
They can't argue with that. You see Akira down in the position that Manders was in just 2 minutes ago. Hammerstone, the only man in this matchup that can be the physical match of Rickey Shane Page, but in 2 seconds, we see the rest of the
And
Calling.
the final entrant for the Calling, Dr. Cornwallus.
And Matt, we've seen this Dr. Cornwallus in some of these messages, this propaganda from the Calling. I don't know his story. I'm not getting close enough to find out his story. All I know is this man is big and dangerous.
Joe, the man is holding a scalpel and decided to put it in his pocket and would rather use his hands, feet, and head. What does that tell you about the good doctor?
Tells me he's just getting warmed up. And just digging into the head of Manders.
Let's look at it from a physical. I mean, this is still a sport. Just on the sheer size, the Calling have Rickey Shane Page and the good doctor. Then they have the speed of Delirious, and then they have the X factor and insanity of Akira. How does the Hammer's team match that?
I mean, I think that's a question that we're all asking ourselves.
The power is Hammerstone, but he can't match both RSP and the doctor. Where's the speed? Where's the insanity? Where are these things that Hammer's team needs?
I guarantee there's some insanity there. I mean, you got to be a little bit crazy to just accept this match.
You got to be a little bit crazy to be in this sport. I get that, but there's different levels to this.
There are, and nobody's compared to the
up.
Rickey Shane Page, what is that, a fork?
He's just jamming. Oh, he's going in his eye.
Oh, God, I got a Ken. She just ripping away at the eye of justice.
And this is where it's different. This is the difference here. It's kind of like if you're fighting an opponent, but you're playing by rules and your opponent isn't. We see that all the time. It's not a fair fight, all right? If your opponent is willing to use tables, ladders, chairs, and fire, then you best believe you need to do the same.
This is a fight that will change careers. This is a fight you do not leave the same person you enter. And no matter who wins or loses, this war...
I think this fight is a reflection of society as a whole.
Rickey just finding the most sensitive locations on Manders' body and just ripping away and trying to puncture the armpit, the gums. And again, it's not just about, doing damage. It's about torture. It's about discomfort.
Yeah, I mean, forget cognitive dissonance. How do you reconcile the things you're seeing?
Well, we'll see how one man reacts to the things he's seen.
And the final entrant for the Hammerheads, Mance Warner.
Oh, Manser has never backed down from a fight, and we know he can get violent. Not too long ago, he hit a man with his car in a parking lot. Manser will not back down from any situation, and he'll go as far as you need to.
Here we go, bleary-eyed and ready to go. Old Mance-a-lot. And I asked, where's the insanity for Hammer's team? Here it is, right here. Hammer's team needs someone like Mance.
Oh, he's biting his foot. Mance Warner taking a chunk out of the toe of Delirious and trying to rally the troops. Submission, surrender, or pinfall. Team Hammerhead with the SGC against the Calling in the daunting War Chamber.
I cannot imagine anyone surrendering. Can you imagine what it's going to take to pin someone? Just what is it going to take to end this war?
I mean, Matt, think about what we've seen here on television over the past few weeks. Rickey Shane Page and his battles with Mance Warner and Manders. What Akira has done with that sickle. Everything we've seen Mance Warner go through in his entire MLW career. Hammerstone, the injuries he's overcome, the challenges he's vanquished to maintain his World Heavyweight Championship.
What do we have here?
We have three members of the
There's
Calling.
barbed wire there.
There is. To keep everybody in and everybody out. Let's fight to a finish. That's Mance. Oh.
I mean, you know, Joe, you bring up a good point. There's an integrity of the structure and what the structure means.
And Mance, after the eye poke to Rickey Shane Page, Akira's in trouble. Mance is trying to loosen that barbed wire. Mance is hitting Rickey Shane Page with that barbed wire in the head.
All I see is Akira's back pressed against steel. Mance Warner with a chair. Thrash Justice with a smile. They need this.
Yeah.
The crew needs to show this side of them.
A steel chair toast to the second gear crew running the ring right now. And Matt, in the chaos of the SGC, Hammerstone is being helped to the back right now. SGC is apparently down in numbers again. Hammerstone injured in the War Chamber.
That does not bode well at all.
No.
The idea is to incapacitate your opponent, render him invalid in order to win this thing. Right now, the Calling strewn about the perimeter, pressed flesh against steel. We are seeing the Calling reeling here. We are seeing the SGC and Hammer's team start to find the chink in the armor.
Obviously, the issue must be serious if a fighter the level of Hammerstone was unable to continue. And Delirious sent into Rickey Shane Page.
Joe, you'll get us updates as you get those, right? I mean, that's
absolutely.
huge.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to get anything before we go off the air, but Mance Warner.
So, but now the desperation sets in for the SGC. Right
Yeah.
now, your best player's out. What are you going to do?
That's a great question, but SGC have that synergy. Akira is proud of the chair to the skull.
Here it is, first attempt.
Akira not moving, and Akira kicks out.
Now our officials come running back. You can see with the gloves on their hands, all these officials understand how hazardous this particular assignment is.
Now look at the face, the head of Rickey Shane Page, a casualty of that barbed wire we talked about earlier.
Okay, I told you the first person to spill is going to tell you a lot. And just like that, the doctor senses the urgency for his team.
Yes. Dr. Cornwallus, what, about 350 pounds? What do you think, more? Oh, look out! Doesn't matter.
Ask Manders.
Doesn't matter to Manders. All man in a yard wide. He'll take anybody down.
Here we go. Oh, nice. Say football's a game of inches. What I love what Manders is doing is he's staying right in the middle of the ring.
Akira countered both lariat attempts beautifully. Delirious got beheaded, but Akira countered. Mance. Those jabs right on the button. Nowhere for Akira to go. And Mance is feeling it. Big windup. Not the first time we've seen the flip-flop and fly in a cage structure like this, but maybe the most meaningful.
Here we go. Perhaps the beginning of the end.
Knee pad down, but the bone in the knee of Manser hits that steel.
Oh, not the brightest bulb in the lamp, are you, pal?
I don't think Manser cares because Akira got it worse. Oh, Justice swinging for Rickey Shane Page, who's trying to block.
Oh, that's not good. No.
Just, oh man.
Rickey Shane Page going to his feet. It's the only way to protect himself.
Yeah. Justice beating Shane Page back to his feet.
How about Rickey Shane Page getting bludgeoned with a steel chair, comes back?
Motioning for these goons and gas masks out here.
I'd be careful, buddy.
Hey, listen, I understand. Right now, we're the last of their worries right now.
Look at the picture on your screen.
This is meant to be 4-on-4. These men are obviously not in this match.
You believe in rules. You're cute.
I'm just saying, there's a reason there's barbed wire around the ring, okay? The second gear crew, their backs are against the wall. Stay tuned, War Chamber continues. Breaking news, MLW CEO Court Bauer to join us later on in the broadcast to give us an update on the status of MLW World Champion Hammerstone. Mance Warner in a bad way.
Yeah, Mance's BAC is leaking out all over the canvas here.
Rickey Shane Page, his entire torso almost is dripping blood here.
They wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, the proverbial crimson mask and then some for the human slaughterhouse, and Manders with a chair. God, just the brutality we're seeing. These men put one another through.
You know how they make veal, don't you, right? The little babies, they live in the dark, and then they smack them in the head. That's what Rickey Shane Page's face looks like right now. It's a wooden mallet that smacks him between the eyes.
What in the world? This sure as hell ain't a wooden mallet. It's two steel chairs on top of a table.
You might prefer the wooden mallet.
Yeah, what kind of sick concoction
we said
is this?
That they need to go to a different place. Hammer's team needs to find that ugly in order to win.
Oh, look out!
I think they found it.
As to what's going through Raven's mind.
I'm not stupid. I'm not going to try to wonder what's going through a mad scientist's mind.
Wait, but Mance has him covered. He's going to get him. He's going to get him.
Oh my God, did he just get caught in the barbed wire as he jumped?
Oh my God, Delirious hit Shadows over Hell, but at what cost? And Justice the same way. Justice covers Delirious, and Akira comes in with a knee.
Joe, great job keeping track of all the action here.
Oh, we're doing the best we can here. There's just bodies everywhere.
No, you deserve a tip of the cap, my man. This is not easy.
Akira and Rickey Shane Page.
It started with Rickey Shane Page and Manders, right? It seems like eons ago.
Yes.
Oh, DDT again, Raven. Good cover. It's over.
The calling has done it.
And the winner of the War Chamber match, the calling.
The violence, the bloodletting, the apparent injury to our World Heavyweight Champion Hammerstone, and the calling overtakes the second gear crew with violence, bloodshed, pain, and misery.
So the takeaway here for me is this. In order for anyone to stop the calling, they're going to need to go to a place that they may not have the ability to go.
Major League Wrestling, Alex Hammerstone, the second gear crew, compiled the toughest, the baddest, just the most fearless warriors to enter the chamber, but the trust in Raven, the belief in the movement, the passion for the cause overtook all of it. And the Raven effect continues to grow within Major League Wrestling.